Oh my goodness. It feels like it's been so long since I've done this. I'm excited to be back. I was busy with work and just couldn't find the time to sit down. I've been listening to plenty of stuff. I have a list of stuff to talk about, more than I can fit into this episode. So hopefully I get right back and do another episode soon with all this stuff I've been listening to. Just haven't been able to talk about it in a little while. Busy with work, about 18 weddings. No, just a few, but, been busy. So, anyways, in this episode, I'm going to just talk about what I've been listening to. I'm going to start with things that have been recommended to me that I've been going back to. So this is stuff, recommendations from other people. And I'm only talking about ones that I've just found myself going back to. I do have plenty of other recommendations from people, and others that I like, but these are the ones I've been going back to and the ones I've been listening to. All right, so first one is World Music Radio by Jon Batiste. And this was a recommendation to me from my good friend Jordan. And this is a cool, special recommendation because she recommended it to me in the form of giving me a vinyl, giving me the album on vinyl. And that's just super cool. So that's why I wanted to start with this one. It's very special to me. And we've been playing the heck out of it. I say we as me and my wife have been playing that quite a bit. And so shout out to Jordan on that one. We've been loving this. It's very fun and bright and happy album with a variety of sounds. It's a pop album, but it has a lot of different elements of different genres, spanning from Latin and Brazilian to hip-hop to jazz to even kind of country sounding, which is the concept of the album. It's all playing into that concept of the album, World Music Radio, and the album has bits and pieces of what a radio would sound like too, scrolling through the different frequencies and changing stations. And then with each, when you change stations, you get a different sound, you get a different genre, you get a different station that, has different music playing. So that's kind of the concept of the album, which is very cool. I appreciate that. And cool features on here too. It's got features from Lana Del Rey, Kenny G, which is crazy. And then the hip-hop features are Jid, which I love Jid. Looking forward to a new album from him, hopefully this year. And Lil Wayne is on this album. So really interesting features, and again, goes with that variety of sounds concept. And it's got a lot going on instrumentally, too. I love his use of the melodica, which, if you don't know what that is, it's a keyboard that you hold and blow into to make the sound. So it's kind of like an accordion, and it kind of sounds like an accordion too, but you blow into it. Shout out to Patrick. He plays one in our band. So, and we always kind of surprise people, and they're like, what the heck is that instrument? And it's a melodica. And Jon Batiste plays it quite a bit, and he plays it quite a bit on Colbert too, from what I've seen. And like I mentioned, this is just such a fun album. My wife loves it too. She's been playing it just as much as me. And a little funny thing is that we've discovered that the song Rain Dance on this album will calm down our son when he's crying or being fussy. It has worked 100% of the time so far. We'll be in the car and we'll just say, put on Rain Dance. Put on Rain Dance. He's fussing. He's fussing too much. Immediately calms him down. He gets quiet and just starts vibing. It's great. So yeah, it's a great album to play around kids too. It's accessible, and they would find it fun because it's happy music. Like, this is a upbeat, positive, happy album. Yeah, this is a great recommendation. Again, shout out to Jordan. That album is World Music Radio by Jon Batiste. All right, another recommendation. This one comes from Andrew, my cousin-in-law, and this is an electronic album with some spacey, psychedelic qualities to it, and that's called Brightest Lights by Lane 8. And like I said, it's an electronic album. And I'll say the first song hooked me right away with the vibe of it. Like I said, it's very spacey, and that little vocal sample or sound or whatever it is um, really hooked me immediately. And I'm like, I love the way this sounds. And that song's called Groundhog Day, one of my favorites on the album. Similar sounding sample or sound, they use that same thing on the song titled Just As Well. Sorry, it's called Just. I wrote Just As Well. But that song is such a vibe and relaxing to me as well, with great percussion and keys. I also really liked Yard to Stone. That's probably my favorite song with vocals on this album. Really cool song. I like the build up, and I like the vocals, and honestly the vocal features throughout this album are nice stuff. From Arctic Lake. I'm gonna check her out. I don't know who that is, but I like it. Um, yeah, this is a good album. I've been playing it a lot. Overall, like I said, the vibe is very spacey, and I feel like it fits with that concept. It stays in that kind of realm. I mean, I sat outside one night listening to this album and looking at the stars, and it fit perfectly. It feels like a starry night. Um, but the beats come in too to make you want to dance. So it kind of feels like you're maybe drunk or whatever, and dancing outside on a starry night. That's what it feels like to me. Especially the song "The Gift." I definitely feel like that. But yeah, I really fuck with this. This is cool. I've had it on quite a bit. Yeah, that's an album called "Brightest Lights" by Lane 8. That was recommended to me by my cousin-in-law, Andrew. Thanks, Andrew. All right, next one. People get a kick out of this. Well, my friends do. When I go, I got a little. I'm sipping. This time I have a High Noon. That's what I'm drinking. I don't know. Whatever. All right, next one. This was recommended to me by Josh. It's Ella Thompson with the album Ripple on the Wing. And this is good, soulful, groovy music. She's got a great, beautiful voice, kind of dark, kind of like, I don't know, mysterious sound in her voice. I don't know why I feel that, but that's what it makes me think of. It's soulful but very laid back production. Kind of reminds me of Black Pumas. It gave me Black Pumas vibes, and also the music behind her makes me think of El Mitchell's Affair. I don't know if you. Some people may have heard. I know Josh knows who that is. They're a groovy band that works with a lot of hip hop artists, and yeah, so it kind of reminded me of El Mitchell's Affair. Check them out. But yeah, very chill, great background music. I don't have a lot to say. It's just solid. Great to put on when people are over. No one will have any objections to this. It's just good, groovy, vibey, indie soul music. That's what I got from this. So this is Ella Thompson, Ripple on the Wing. That was recommended to me by Josh. Shout out to Josh. Another one that was co-recommended to me. Josh kind of signed on to this recommendation as well, but it originally came from Zane. My buddy Zane recommended to me Animal Collective. And I know, I'm sure there's people out there who are like, well, why haven't you listened to Animal Collective? Where you been? Well, I'm sorry. I'm just getting to it now. But Zane recommended to me Fall Be Kind, which is an EP. And then Josh told me to listen to their most popular album, Merriweather Post Pavilion. And yeah, this is like, if you're not familiar with Animal Collective, which I wasn't, but now I am, it's indie rock electronic music. That's kind of what I would say. The way I've been describing them and the way I think of them is they are like if Tame Impala and the Beach Boys combined. Because they have these amazing vocal harmonies like the Beach Boys, but then it has like crazy synth sounds and it's kind of psychedelic. So that makes me think of Tame Impala. and the way they sing is kind of like Tame Impala a little bit too, but with a lot more harmonies and a lot more emphasis on the vocals. Yeah, and it's catchy too. There's parts that were getting stuck in my head. For example, like off Fall Be Kind, the first song, Graze goes, "Why do you have to go? Why do you have to go? Why do you have to go? You're staying home." And that was stuck in my head for a couple days. And then another song off that album too is go, "What do I want, sky? What do I want, sky? What do I want, sky?" And that was just going on in my head too. So it's very catchy. Um, I will say it took some getting used to the amount of space they leave in their songs. They go into sort of ambient parts, and it just kind of gets a little, I don't know, boring maybe. But I'm coming around to it. It took me, the other part that took me a while to get used to was there isn't a lot of drums. So yeah, it took me a lot of time to get used to the spaciness and the lack of drums. But I was talking to Josh about it, and he said something that made it click with me. He said he finds it very percussive, actually, but it's from the other sounds. And I think that's true because everything in it is rhythmic. And so you're getting percussion, you're getting rhythm, but it's from the keys and the synths and the vocals. So you don't need drums, really, to keep a beat going. But it did take me some time to get used to that. And I've come around to it. I really like it now. It's really interesting. I think part of it was because I started with the new Panda Bear album, and I feel like Panda Bear, if you don't know, Panda Bear is a member of Animal Collective who has formed his own solo stuff. So he made the new album a lot more accessible and a lot more normal music feeling, if that makes sense. It's got drums and stuff, sticks with a beat, it's not all over the place. And Animal Collective is a little more all over the place. But with that said, I think it's more creative. I think it's really remarkable music. Yeah. I mean, this Animal Collective stuff is really, really cool. So yeah, a couple of those were Fall Be Kind and Merriweather Post Pavilion. I'll put both of those in the description, episode description. You'll have both of those in there. But those are recommendations from Zane and Josh. Thanks, guys. All right. My last recommendation that I've been playing a bunch of comes from Metalhead Matt. So he recommended to me Deafheaven. The band is called Deafheaven. The album is called Lonely People with Power. And this is metal, I guess, but with a lot of different dynamics. There are a lot of alternative rock parts, even like slower, calmer, more progressive rock parts throughout that kind of take the energy down a bit. So it's not in your face metal the whole time. You know, the songs build from like an alternative rock sound into crescendos of metal. But it's not heavy in your face the entire time at all. It's really dynamic. It kind of goes up and down quite a bit. The alternative sound almost gave me like a Linkin Park feel, and these comparisons I'm about to make are probably going to drive Metalhead Matt crazy. But I'm trying to explain to people what it might sound like from a more, from somebody that you know and recognize. So like Linkin Park, everybody knows Linkin Park. So that's the kind of alternative rock feeling that I was getting. And also a little bit of Foo Fighters sounding at times. Just the music itself. Like the song "The Garden Route" really kind of made me think of some Linkin Park sounding stuff. And then the guitar riff on the chorus of "Body Behavior" almost sounds like a Foo Fighters tune to me. Yeah. So, but then they do get thrash metal like too, like the song "Magnolia" and the song "Revelator." To me, those sound like some early Metallica or this band that I used to listen to in high school called Iced Earth, and the vocals are kind of similar to that too. And so let's get into the vocals because this is the part that's going to turn people off probably. I think if there weren't any vocals, this would be more accessible for people. But okay, because the vocals come in and they're kind of like a demonic sound, or I think it sounds like a goblin or something. That's what I think of. And I don't mind it. I kind of like it because it's in the background more with this album too. It's really not in the forefront. It kind of just complements the rest of the music when it builds up. So the vocals are in the background, and they kind of just boost the energy or contribute to the calm parts. They kind of make it, a little creepy during the calm parts or whatever. They have some singers featured on here during those calmer parts. But yeah, I like the vocals to that, boost the energy. I don't know, and I don't know what they're saying. No idea, because it is in the background, so you can't really tell. So the album title, I don't know how the music gets that across. Lonely People with Power. I don't know exactly what they're talking about. I would have to read the lyrics, which I may one day. But yeah, the musicianship on here is really incredible. The guitar and drum parts are really impressive. The compositions of these songs, yeah, I really like the guitar riffs. Yeah, there's a lot I like of this. Yeah, I've been playing the heck out of this, honestly, especially when I get off work. Like I've mentioned before, I like kind of some heavier stuff when I get off work. It likes, I get my angst out. And yeah, it's great driving home from work music for me. That's what I like. Yeah. So this album is Deafheaven by, the band is called Deafheaven. The album is called Lonely People with Power. All right. Now we're getting into just what I've been listening to. And this is an album called Forever Howlong by Black Country New Road. And this is an alternative rock band. I've listened to their past two albums as well, and they are really cool, really unique sound, especially because they throw in a saxophone player into an alternative rock sound, which is interesting. But you can kind of tell that these guys have a jazz background, maybe. I'm speculating, but their songs have some interesting timings. And their past two albums were much heavier and darker, with more distorted guitar and punk qualities, even, I would say. And the past two albums that I've listened to have had a male vocalist. And so this new album changed the sound quite a bit. First off, they have a female vocalist. And they go for a more of a folk rock, happier feel to it. So it's not like this dark, moody alternative rock anymore. It's folk rock, and it's pretty upbeat and happy. The lyrics get a little dark at times, but the vibe changed quite a bit from their past sound, and I really like it. I really like the female vocalist. She has a Joan Baez vibe to her voice. That's what I was getting from it. And they let her breathe a lot and take over the recording at times, even like overdubbing on top of herself to harmonize. They really let her do her thing, and I like that. And then they come in with incredible instrumentation too. It's really cool. I mean, the album starts with a harpsichord, which is awesome. But there is violin, saxophone, wonderful piano throughout. The drums are doing really interesting things as well. Yeah, this is an amazing, beautiful album. Beautiful folk rock, kind of jazzy album. It's amazing composed too, because the songs build into crescendos, and they have so many dynamics. So the compositions on this are really well done. It's a gorgeous album. And I'm going to leave it at that, because this is definitely a contender for top albums of the year, you're gonna hear me talk about this album again, without a doubt. Yeah, this was incredible. Um, that album is called Forever How Long by Black Country New Road. All right, now I'm going to talk about some older stuff that I've just been diving back into. Hip hop stuff. There are some new hip hop albums that I've been starting to check out, but I need a little more time with them. One of them is Saba and No ID put out an album. I'm a big Saba fan. I think I'm gonna wait to talk about that because I need a couple more listens. But there is some new stuff that's out that I'm just getting used to. But I kind of dove back in time to some classic shit, some classic hip hop. You know what I'm saying? And what I'm talking about is Kid Rock. No, I'm just kidding. No, I went back and I've been listening to A Tribe Called Quest, Midnight Marauders. Fucking amazing album. The bass lines and the groovy keys, the vibey beats that just have your head bobbing. You just throw this on and let the beats just go. And the clever lines and fun flows. On the rapping, I feel like everybody can appreciate Tribe because they aren't talking about shooting people or selling drugs and whatnot, which typically turns people off to hip hop. And they're just talking shit about being the best MC and how other MCs are lame and they'll destroy this MC. And I love that. And they're just bragging, and it's like they get all the ladies and they're the best. Just full of confidence. It's confidence rap. And doing it with just crazy clever lines and flows behind these super groovy beats and bass lines. And oh man, Tribe is great. I mean, if you don't listen to Tribe Called Quest, go put this on, put you in a good mood. The album that I've been playing, they have plenty of good ones, but the one I've been on is Midnight Marauders. And so in the same kind of vein, same kind of style, I've also been playing the hell out of Things Fall Apart by The Roots, that album. And kind of a lot of the descriptions I just said apply to this album too. I will say both of these albums get a little repetitive with the same kind of beats. It is a very similar tempo throughout the album, similar style of rhythm, similar beats, but they keep your head bobbing and just grooving, and the rhymes are crazy. I mean, Black Thought and Malik B are incredible rappers. I consider Black Thought to be a top 10 rapper of all time. And I know he doesn't typically make that list for a lot of people, but to me, Black Thought does not miss on a verse. He has a perfect flow, a great delivery, great voice. Yeah, I mean, and he's been around for 30 years now making rap music, and he still kills it. And he put out my favorite album of 2023. So, yeah, Black Thought is amazing. And if you're not familiar with The Roots in general, they are a live band. So the beats are from a live band. They're actually Jimmy Fallon's, talk show band. And they're great musicians. The drummer, Questlove, is iconic at this point in the hip-hop industry and R&B industry. And, yeah, so you're getting a great live band sound with great keys, bass. And this is great stuff, man. I mean, put this on at work or doing stuff around the house, and it is sure to keep you going. It's sure to keep you going. So that one's Things Fall Apart by The Roots. And I got one more classic hip-hop album I want to talk about. That's Supreme Clientele by Ghostface Killah. And this is for the real hip-hop fans. This, man, first off, like I said, this album's a classic. And this is just bars for days. Just Ghostface is crazy. Arguably the best Wu-Tang Clan member. Arguably. I think a lot of people put him as one of the best, at least, Wu-Tang Clan members. And his solo stuff is amazing too. He really doesn't miss. He doesn't have any whack verses, albums, anything. And he can keep a crazy rhyme scheme going for a whole verse and crazy wordplay while sounding hard as hell too. Yeah. The beats on here are amazing too. Upbeat and lively with soul beats. Like the song Buck 50, man, that is my shit. I keep putting that one on. I sent it to like 3 people one night when I was listening to it. I was like, please go listen to this. And Redman's verse on that, man, when he comes in, the words you talk better be the words you walk. Body you in the bed where the nurses are. That, his voice and delivery, when he comes in, I'm just like, woo, damn. Yeah, fucking love that shit. Yeah, he comes in so hard on that feature. It catches my attention every time. All right, sorry, moving on. And back to the beats. Great instrument samples, especially the beats with horns, are so triumphant. And I like to say it's like walk up in the place music, if you know what I mean. Like you walk up into the club playing the song Apollo Kids off this album. It's walk up in the place music. You're walking in confident. You know, you got swag. So, yeah. RZA, also from Wu-Tang Clan, and Ghostface did most of the production. So, you know, it's got a lot of that same kind of Wu-Tang production. I would say the only negative of this album is the skits are kind of long. And so I just kind of end up skipping them, to be honest. But overall, I can put this album on and let it play, and it's just fabulous. Bars for days. Yeah. Ghostface Killah, Supreme Clientele. Amazing. All right. That's what I got for you for music. I'm going to quickly talk about a couple comedy specials that came out. First one, Jessica Kirson, I'm the Man. I've been really excited for this one because I find her so funny. She has a short set on one of the Netflix's joke specials, and I've seen other clips and interviews with her. This one is on Hulu, and this special is so funny to me. You kind of watch it and you go, this woman is a little insane. Yeah, she's a little crazy, and I love that. Her facial expressions are wacky, crazy, almost scary, honestly, and so expressive that they take you by surprise. She also does different voices quite a bit, which is interesting. Her content-wise, she's talking quite a bit about being a lesbian and how she's unapologetically raising kids to be lesbians, but it's not working. And so I thought that was a funny premise. And just great premises in this the whole time. A lot of quick one-liners. I feel like with every joke and premise, she gives you like 4 punchlines. She kind of waits for the laughter, and then she gives you another one, and then another one, and another one. And it's just, yeah, she just keeps going. Yeah, this was hilarious. There's other, I could mention some other topics that she covers. It's not just what I mentioned, but I don't want to give too much away. This is great. Jessica Kirson, she's hilarious. It's called I'm the Man. It's on Hulu. All right. And then the other one I was really excited for as well is Tim Dillon, I'm Your Mother. So Tim Dillon, he's got a podcast out where he rambles by himself on everything going on in the world. And he goes on these long rants and makes fun of things. And that's kind of my personal favorite way to listen to Tim. I think I go to him to be like, okay, what is he going to say about this? Because it's going to be funny. I just love how his brain works. It makes dark shit funny. And we need that sometimes, So this special, he hits on some pretty serious topics and makes them funny. He talks about the homeless people problem. He talks about the Middle East, which that bit is hilarious. He's talking about he tries to figure out what side people are on during the conversation, and then he just goes with whatever that one is because it's such a polarizing topic. and he talks about RFK Jr. And he does an impersonation that is really funny. And he talks about how RFK wants to take away all his favorite fast food restaurants and make them healthier. And Tim's kind of like a big guy, so that makes more sense in that context. But that's just the beginning. I mean, he covers all kinds of stuff, and like I said, I love how his brain works. He has the ability to make dark shit funny. So yeah, that's Tim Dillon. That one's on Netflix. It's called I'm Your Mother. And that's what I got for you. I have a whole list of other stuff that I've been listening to, and I will talk about them in the next episode. And it won't be that long from now. I'm not going to take that much time this time. But thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you check out any of these albums or stand-up specials, and let me know if you liked them or if you didn't like it. Again, thanks for the people who are giving me recommendations. And yeah, much love, y'all. Have a good one.